One of the other more important concepts to also cover is the concept of polymorphism. I want to show you this real quick. In our student example that we've been working with, we've had a graduate student, we've had an undergrad student, and we've built those both off of our generic student. So in both of these classes, we've built a method called checkPass. I'm going to go ahead inside student and build a third one. Public void checkPass. I'm just going to have it system.out. Well, I'm going to have it do the same thing that the other two did. So if, in this case, it's going to be my scores. My score is greater than 60. Then we're going to have a system.out.println say you passed at the high school and undergrad level. Since we're not getting specific, then I'll do else if my score is greater than 80%. Then we're going to use the same print line, but we're also going to add graduate school in there. So they pass at the high school. I'm going to scroll up so you can see it. The high school, undergrad level, and graduate level. Very good. Else, well, actually, we don't need an else. Well, yeah, we do. Because else would be you failed everything. So else would be system.out.println you failed at all academic levels. So we have in each class a method that is called checkPass. And add override annotation. We don't need to do that, but that override is what polymorphism does. Is it gives the computer, or is the computer's mechanism of selecting, I want to make sure I get this right, the appropriate method for a particular object in a class hierarchy. So, even though we made that and we still had the extension of students, this should still, when we run the program, just print our four basic, our two high scores and our two graduate ones. This should still just print those, which it did. Just because this method exists in the student class doesn't mean that it's the most appropriate one. If we did, however, change, well, that would not work because we made this a void method. I was going to say if we add a parameter to it, but then we'd have to change the type, which changes the whole concept of polymorphism. If we just refer to the student class, however, so I'll make it student person1 equals, I'm just going to do one new student. New student, I'm going to say Josh, and we're going to give Josh 78. So then we just say person1 dot checkPass. And it's just going to tell us that Josh passed at the high school and undergraduate level. So you can name different methods in different classes the same. Essentially you want them to do the same thing, and it belongs to that particular class. So even though I have a check pass in the student class, which we added, if I have a check pass in the high school or check pass in the graduate, then it's going to override it. Okay, so let me show you what happens when I comment that out and it still wants to use it. I'll get these comment outs right one of these days. There we go. Oop, gotta take that down just a little bit further. There we go. So, I'm still calling to my high school, but now, because I commented it out, my high school student no longer has a check pass method. So it's going to then jump back to the one that's a part of student, since the high school is an extension of student, and let us know what our student did. So again, we have our 5 different students. So I'm going to do the run here. And it said that you passed for the first student at the high school level and undergraduate level. The other one, you failed at all academic levels. We never changed it for graduate, so these 2 prints are still correct. And then this one, of course, we just called to the regular student class. That's polymorphism. Is this the computer's ability to decide which method from the same name do you want? Do you want the one from the subclass, which is what we have set up here in graduate, and most of the time in high school, except we commented it out. But if it doesn't exist there, and we don't override it there in the subclass that we created, then it's going to go to the extension, the superclass, the parent class, and grab the method from there. That right there is polymorphism.